Hey guys, it's me, LaShanda here. Um, Really interesting week I've been having. I've been doing a couple of interviews and I wanted to kind of talk about one in particular. I just did an interview with Michelle from Not Your Mama's News. Thank you, Michelle, for that wonderful interview. It was kind of a therapy. It was like a therapy session for the both of us. It's kind of in the beginning. It starts off, what do you do? Why do you do that? How did you get started? And all of a sudden, sisters, when we start talking, and it just kind of went to this whole other introspective, reflective space about, what she's doing to be proactive within the black community and what I'm doing. And I cried. I cried. I know it's crazy. I shouldn't say that. But that kind of made me want to do this video and to talk about some things that, look, I always tell people, you might as well put me in a cave in Kenya because I don't know. I didn't know that this was going on. I didn't know folks were saying this. And I'm going to explain what the hell it is that I'm talking about. So you're like, what? What is she saying? But basically, I had done another video called She Hate Me, and in it, I talked about someone who kind of let the cat out the bag that some folks were saying that, oh, LaShonda's so arrogant and Rochelle's even worse, and da da da. And it just so happened it was Michelle from Not Your Mama's News, and she said to me, before I kind of wrote you off and said, well, that's who you are, I really wanted to see for myself, which is why she checked out my webinars. She did the how to videos, and she said, you know what, you are the real deal. And I really want to interview you. And I'm always like, it's really certain times that I kind of put myself out there. And most times when I do videos, I'm talking about the marketing, the entrepreneurship, the business. I don't really like doing me stuff. But God said do it, and I did. And so, when I did the interview with her, she said to me, I wanted to talk to you because I hear some things about you, girl. I was like, oh Lord. And I got to say how she said it. She said, I hear you arrogant, you're inaccessible, you think you know it all, you always talking about stuff, you swear you the shit. And what was it? It was to the extent of, well, sometimes she's all about giving away free stuff, but she wants you to buy stuff and da 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 da. I was like, wow. That's what folks are saying, huh? Because you're listening, you're talking to people and you're doing your own stuff, which is what I do all the time. I'm not really a person to kind of listen to the chatter. But I guess the more I do and the more people I reach and the bigger my online businesses become, of course, you're going to get bad commentary, you're going to get good commentary. But this isn't really so much about focusing on the bad. Like I said, my new friend Michelle and I, we really kind of had a powwow, and she learned a lot about me, and I learned a lot about me as well, as far as what other people might have been thinking, and the fact that because I'm so dedicated to sharing my marketing and my online business information to most of my followers online, I guess a lot of people don't really know me and they don't really know why I do what I do, and the I guess the method behind the madness as far as me and all the different wonderful things I'm doing online. So I said, I would love to be introspective for like 2 seconds, and create what I'm calling this, which is the business of me. A couple of videos, not just to talk about me, but to highlight why I work with women entrepreneurs of color, what it is exactly I do online. I know a lot of people, they're always kind of business, 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 but you don't really know them. And I guess I was one of those people. I'll tell you why as well. And at the ending of that, I'm just going to do a couple of really short videos about me for those of you who are curious or think I'm inaccessible, and which is hilarious. Because a lot of my websites, obviously I'll have a little contact and my link, and if you have questions or concerns, but I guess, inaccessible in the sense of not really knowing me and feeling like there's kind of a disconnect between what I do and I don't know. Um, so yes, the business of me, and who I am. Well, I know most of you already know the soundbite, but basically, I am LaShanda Henry. I'm a work at home mom. I've been online for almost 10 years. For the majority of that time, I've been creating websites for people of color. And as I evolve as a person, I create new websites, which is why you'll see me create Black Moms Club. And I did that when I was pregnant, or Black Businesswomen Online. I did that when I started to become a serious internet entrepreneur. I created the e-zine for women of color. It just so happened I was a teen then. So kind of every time something new happens in my life and I feel that it's relevant to the Black community, I want to kind of share as much information that I can find. Um, One of the questions that she asked me, Michelle, and I kind of will end this video on that note because I'm going to do a couple, but I want them to be relatively short, is she said to me, well, why do you do what you do? Why do you work with women entrepreneurs of color? Why do you work with Black people? And I said to her, to me, it's kind of like that woman who was abused and she wants to have a child because she wants to give that child all the love and all the affection that she never got. And to be honest with you, I'm a Columbia University grad. I am a lot of things, but none of those things were ever positive to me. Unfortunately, within the Black community, we kind of have things flipped, and when you're that smart kid in junior high or elementary, that's a bad thing. When you talk a certain way, it's a white thing. When you carry yourself a certain way, people don't understand it. When you leave to go to a school, people think, oh, you think you're too good now, you too uppity because you left the hood, you left the neighborhood. So I mean, a lot of that speaks to me as an entrepreneur because going into that kind of world, one, I had nobody to relate to. Two, all the things that realistically are good. You're smart, you went to a good school. That should be good. It wasn't a lot of people, patting me on the back, telling me a good job. And then, especially as an entrepreneur, Black folks, when we go into an industry that is not exactly expected of us, go get that job. Being your own entrepreneur is risky. What are you trying to do? What are you going for? Why are you doing that? So, like I said, kind of feeling that wasn't there for myself. When I did find information, I wanted to create a space for other people. I wanted to share what I learned. I talk a little bit about, I did a video on corporate girls. I did do a couple of internships at IBM and I loved it. But, it's clear that we are a minority in the technology industry. And I'm not going to say that IBM didn't do a lot. They did. They actually have a black, their a lot of the Black employees of IBM, they have their own network, and we did some functions with them, which was great. But that being said, there's still a lot to be done as far as making connections between other entrepreneurs of color. I identify specifically with women because I am a woman and I've got that kind of motherly instinct in me. So, yeah, long story short, I work with women entrepreneurs of color because I feel that nobody was speaking to me, nobody was speaking to my audience. I can't believe that now my social network, Black Businesswomen Online, is almost 10,000 members and growing, which goes to show that we didn't have a voice, we didn't have a space. I talk a lot about all the different internet marketers and online marketers out there, my white counterparts. They might do coaching, they might do marketing like myself and Rochelle, and their packages are $900, $1,200, 77, 777. I know that that wasn't something I could afford. I know that wasn't something a lot of my fellow solo entrepreneur sisters could afford. So I teach and I do what I do and try to give it to people at a price level that I know is realistic to us. I try to kind of speak our language, talk about our issues, market to us in respect to the way that I think we should be marketed to. I find 9 times out of 10, I might go on a Black business website and all the images are of white people. To me, that's a contradiction. Going on Black sites and seeing images of white people is fine, but that's not what it should be. So a lot of the marketing that I do, a lot of the spaces that I create, you'll find 90% of the advertisement is for black people. They are pictures of black people because I think that positive image is lost. I think a lot of black owners are so scared because they know they might not be accepted by mainstream if they put their face on their business. So they put a white person as the representative of their business. So I definitely kind of wanted to bring black back as far as internet entrepreneurship was concerned, and that's kind of why I do what I do. So woo. This is the first of a couple of videos on the business of me, and I hope you like them. Alrighty, I'll talk to you soon.